They say you are what you eat, and our next career knows that better than anyone. Today, we're talking to a dietitian. Courtney?
Hi, Brian. Welcome to Prince George.
Thanks for having me.
Let me show you around.
Great.
My name is Courtney Hobson. I'm a clinical dietitian at the University Hospital of Northern BC in Prince George. Dietitians are nutrition experts who ensure that people have the nutritional information and the right foods available to meet their nutritional needs. They help people figure out what their nutritional needs are based off of medical diagnosis they have or just their age and gender, and help them to meet nutritional goals that they might have for themselves. There's 3 general areas: clinical, which would be with inpatients or clients; community, which would be working out in the community, but usually working on policies for health authorities; and also in food service administration, so working in a kitchen, in a long-term care facility, or in a hospital. So your role could be a lot different in different types of dietitian positions. Most dietitian work is Monday to Friday, normal work hours. It's not usually shift work. An average day would involve screening the patients on my unit to see who's at nutritional risk, and then prioritizing those patients and doing nutrition assessments on the ones who are at highest nutritional risk, and from there coming up with a care plan that would meet their nutritional needs in hospital and then also when they are discharged home from hospital. Okay, hop on the scale now.
Okay. Okay, so that's my weight there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we use that as a part of our nutrition assessment on everybody. We'll take their height and weight, do their BMI, and it's just one tool that we have to figure out how healthy they are in terms of their nutritional status.
Okay.
It doesn't tell us everything, but it gives us a bit of an idea. You definitely need to be creative as a dietitian. You have to work with different clients who have all sorts of different needs. They might have financial barriers or religious barriers or different diet restrictions based on the medical conditions that they have. Specifically, what's important for an individual patient, you need to be able to look at the details for that patient of their diseases, the medications they're on, all that sort of thing. So your BMI, your body mass index, works out to 24.7. We want it between 18.5 to 24.9 for somebody your age. So you're in that range, so you're healthy BMI-wise.
So I don't have to change anything. Perfect.
People can always tweak things in their diet to make it a bit healthier. You don't need to get really restrictive about it, but there's always things that people can do just to eat a bit healthier, and that's where dietitians can be helpful, finding that balance for people. There's a lot of calculations that you do on a daily basis when we're determining calories that a patient would need. There's different equations that we use to determine caloric needs, and there's also a pretty strong science connection with physiology and the connection between food and your body and science. To be a dietitian, you have to have completed a bachelor's degree in nutritional science or dietetics, 4 years of undergraduate courses at a university, and then a 10-month to a year internship. The dietetic internship is really important in terms of gaining those practical skills.
Now, breaking down each of these food groups, you would have to know a little bit about each of them, about what they're worth as far as calorie counts, how much sugars, fatty acids, things like that are all contained within each. Is that something that you learn strictly through university?
Yeah, so initially you learn sort of general nutrition and food science and that kind of thing. And then as you get on in 3rd and 4th year, you're learning more about therapeutic diets and how they relate to disease conditions. An important skill is to be able to talk with people that you've just met. You have to be pretty convincing sometimes to get patients to understand the role nutrition and their diet can play in their disease state, providing the foods that will help slow the progression of that disease or minimize consequences that could come about because of the disease. And you have to be able to build rapport with them and be able to do a teaching with them or have them feel comfortable to answer your questions. But that's one of the benefits, is that you could start out as a clinical dietitian and then you could move into community or you could move into food service. So you have the background training to work in any of those fields. But there is room to move up either to be a chief dietitian of a department, or even beyond that, you could move into management and other levels of the healthcare system. When you're able to do a teaching and they come back and say that, oh yeah, this is really working for me, and then you're able to take further steps with them. Just seeing those successes in clients or in patients' lives is one of the real rewards.
Okay, so that was an apple a day.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much, Courtney. I had a great day.
See you later.
And once again, I'm Brian for Career Trek, reminding you that this career could be yours. See you next time.